pleased to present for your consideration.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Jabberbox Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Andy Bond, and with me is the icy blues of the desert, Dan Singleton. If you're joining in for the very first time, then you should know that this show is about two of us as we ramble on through pop culture topics, such as, but not limited to, games, movies, shows, and really whatever else we want to jabber about. Some housekeeping before we get to the show. You can get the show over on youtube.com/dandydigital or over on Spotify and iTunes by searching Jabberbox and hitting that subscribe button. If you like what you hear and want to support us monetarily, head over to patreon.com/dandydigital. If you have no bucks to toss our way, that is just dandy by us. And with that, let's get to the first topic. Now, I saw that Dan added something to the script thinking I was going to read it, and I almost did, actually.
I tried. I really tried.
Ron Burgundy. So, what's up,
Can't
Dan?
blame a guy for trying. What's going on, Andy?
How you doing?
Oh, another day, another 38 cents.
Yeah, one day closer to Monday.
One day closer to death.
It's the first day of the rest of our lives.
Oh, who's the pessimist and who's the optimist here, I wonder?
So what's going on? What's new?
Man, it's just hot. It's just hot. Like today's a weird day because we had rain and it's only like 102 right now or something like that. But
yeah.
We were hitting like what, 115, 117. Like, no fucking thanks. I'm done
Showing
with this.
99 right now. And I was just outside not too long ago. It's not that bad. It's a little muggy because of the storm, but I like that.
Yeah, like I said, today's the weird day. Past couple weeks, it's been like 115. I'm
Did you see the storm roll in last night?
I did not, but I saw it today when I was on my way to the airport.
Yeah, it was nice. We were just hanging out, doing whatever, and we saw the clouds rolling in, lightning doing its thing, and then as soon as we started to go to bed, we heard the thunder, and it actually started to rain.
Yeah, I missed the rain. I think the rain waited for me to leave. I was only gone for like an hour and a half, and it rained at home during that period of time when I wasn't here, of course.
Yeah.
Such is life. Anyways, what's going on with you?
Nothing, not much. Just keeping busy.
This podcast is off to an exciting start. Whole lot of nothing and small talk about weather. All right.
Hey, man, weather's a big deal with Arizona. When we get something that's not fucking scorched sun outside, we're all about it. So, we're working on some cool plans for the show, which is what I was telling you about before we started recording. So I'm looking forward to getting that ironed out. And then we're going to be able to get some people on here for like a, as a guest pseudo.
Yeah, we're hoping to get a guest on here that we can chat with and share with the audience here. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Fuck yeah. So, what are you drinking, Dan? I see you're drinking something.
Oh, this, my friend, is homemade fresh espresso from my wife's birthday was recently, and she got this new espresso machine and a coffee bean grinder. And let me tell you, it's a game changer.
Yeah.
Like I have a coffee maker where at work that just does the K cups, just the little pods. And,
like a Keurig.
Yeah. And that's what I've been using for years now. And I just kind of settled into it. I felt like I was drinking like foot water all week at work compared to this. This is so good. And I am excited to wake up in the mornings to have this.
Yeah.
I've never really been much of a coffee snob and use those beans. Who do you think you like? That's gross. No, that was never me. But this has really upped my coffee game. It's got a built-in little frother and steamer. You can make it as fancy as you want. You can I know most people brew espresso in small amounts. You can brew. This will brew as much as you want. Like if you want a full mug of espresso, go ahead.
That's fucking rough. I'm sure
It is rough. It is rough. I don't do that, but the ability to do so is there.
I do like the frothing, the frother. Frother?
Oh yeah, it's a nice touch. Again, I used to kind of, find it pretentious. Like, oh, you want foam? Like, it doesn't even mix in. It's just sitting on top. What does it even do for you? It's weird. It makes it nice. It makes it smooth. Makes it silky. Makes it more aromatic. Like it just ups the experience.
Yeah, you understand.
Now I get it. It was a moment of enlightenment when that first when that first sip hit my lips. It was like a light bulb went off, lightning struck, whatever you want to call it. It was very nice.
See, I don't drink coffee or any. I mean, I think the closest that I get to a coffee is the double chocolate chip frappuccino at Starbucks. But
That's
even
just
then,
sugar.
well, I know there's coffee in there because sometimes they'll make it weird where they don't blend it right, and I get that dirt, kick in the mouth. I'm like, this sucks. But when I right out of high school, when I worked at the cafe down by the hospital, they had like a little espresso machine, and I really actually enjoyed making people's drinks when they came up. So they'd come up, hey, I want an espresso, I want 2 shots of hazelnut, whatever. So you take your little cup and then pour in some milk, and then you can froth it. So I'd hold it, I'd put it, up and down a little bit like I'm playing with myself, and then I'd hold it up and then let it really foam itself from the bottom up, and then it was smooth, man, from what I've heard. Maybe they were just being nice. I didn't drink it, so I couldn't actually confirm that myself.
So as somebody that's not a coffee drinker, you still enjoy the smell of like fresh ground coffee and that kind of stuff?
I don't. It smells like it's gross. Like it smells like it tastes, and it tastes like dirt.
There's what the most, or I don't know if it's the most, but it's definitely one of the most expensive, if not the most expensive coffee bean in the world. What's the name of it? I don't remember the name of it, but it's something that an animal eats whole. It goes through their digestive tract and they shit it out whole, and then people pick it and brew it.
I've actually heard of that.
I can't remember the name of it. It's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard in the world. Like how? Okay, it may be the very best in the world. I don't know. I've never had it. Who the fuck looked at an animal and said, you know what? You know what we're going to try today, Joe? We're going to feed this animal whole bean coffee. We're going to wait about 2 days for it to process it. It's going to shit it out whole, and then we're going to grind that up, and we're going to make coffee out of it. Who thinks of that? Who put that series of actions together to form what some believe to be the best cup of coffee in the world? I'd love to know that thought process.
Somebody who is on acid for a while in the desert.
I don't know, man. It's just strange to me.
Yeah, I don't know. You can try that. Let me know how it is.
I would be willing to try it, but it's Kopi Luwak. It's $300 a pound right now. Oh, that's the third most expensive coffee in the world. I don't know what makes the other two more expensive. The most expensive coffee in the world right now is Black Ivory Coffee, and it's $818 a pound.
Wow.
Couldn't tell you why.
Go ahead.
But
maybe we can reach out and see if they can't send us a couple.
I mean, that'd be nice, but let's be realistic. They probably already have their name out there if they're charging $800 and something a pound.
Right.
They don't
That's
need
funny.
to. Yeah. Oh, there's a picture of this thing shitting out whole bean coffee, and it looks disgusting. Woo. I'd still try it. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, there's very few things I won't give an honest try to. If it's considered legitimately edible, I would almost always give it a try. Exception is something I saw on, I think it was what was that show Anthony Bourdain did? Wasn't it Without Borders or
Oh,
Expedition Unknown or whatever, that traveling show with Anthony Bourdain like 20 years ago,
yeah.
15 years ago. He was somewhere in Africa and they had like fried tarantulas.
Parts unknown.
Hard parts unknown. Thank you. It's just like, fried tarantulas, hard pass. Not going to be eating spiders. Spiders aren't my thing. Never will be. I accept that. That's not something I'll try, even though people eat it. But pretty much anything else.
I might. I mean, I've tried like a handful of crickets that somebody brought from Taiwan. I think they were there.
Fried?
Yeah, well, they were like they were dry. I don't know if they would consider it fried. I didn't ask. They look like crickets, and they had like sugar on them essentially in the box that he had. So it was like a box of nerds, but instead of little hard candies, it was bugs. So it was interesting. I don't know if I tried again, but I did try it, and I was like, it's all right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time, most insects are actually kind of just flavorless. Yeah. It's more mental than it is the flavor.
I think the problem with that, and I can see why people wouldn't want to do it. So, like for crickets, when you bite into it, they kind of just fall apart. So, like as you're chewing, you can feel legs and stuff around. Well, yeah. So, and then like it's stuck, up in the top of your gums, where it's like almost like a chip. So you're trying to like, I got it using your tongue to clear it out, but it's just, cricket legs and shit like that. So I can see why people don't want to do that.
I no, it's not that I don't understand. It's just, I'd be willing to try it. It doesn't bother me that much.
But I've never had one of those popsicles or lollipops or whatever that had a scorpion in it or a mealworm.
I've had one of those. I've had a scorpion with they like chop off the end of the tail where the little sac is with the stinger.
Mm-hmm.
It's not alive, but they pop that off and then they do something with it. I've tried that before. It was okay. It was just crunchy, really. And again, it's more mental than it is anything.
Yeah.
It is weird. The weirdest part was the pinchers, but such as
also
life.
Crunchy.
Firm. Like a hard marshmallow almost. At least the way they prepared it. It's really hard to describe. They had a little bit of a crunch because the exoskeleton, but like because it was a large. It was a what do they call an emperor scorpion? I think the huge black ones in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna look it up because I can't remember if that's what it's called. Yeah, emperor scorpion. And they were just like bulbous little things, and
weird.
Well, if any listeners are out there actually still listening, and not throwing up,
I mean, you always try new things. That's how you find out that Brussels sprouts are fucking garbage. You bite into it, and you're like, this not only smells like shit, it tastes like shit. So,
Brussels sprouts,
that's just a normal food. I know. But speaking of food, have you ever eaten at Ike's Love and Sandwiches?
I've never even heard of Ike's Love and Sandwiches.
Dude, this little shop, and I think they're nationwide, honestly, because I forget where he comes from. Anyway, so during my day job, when we were in the office prior to COVID, there was an Ike's Love and Sandwiches down the street, and this was in Scottsdale. One of my coworkers, she had bought a meatball sub, and she brought it in, only finished half, and then she asked me if I wanted the other half, and I was like, sure, because I'm not going to turn down food, right? Because I'm a fatty fat. And so I bite into this meatball sub, and it changed my life. I fucking love this sandwich. So then I actually frequented there throughout my time when we were in the office. It was the most upsetting thing about working from home is that I was going to be so far away from that sandwich, that sandwich shop. So I was upset. Anyway, so we're going out with some friends, in the next couple of weeks. And they, like everybody else, they're telling me, oh, we normally go to Westgate and we get some drinks there or whatever. And I was like, Mary and I just think, why does everybody keep fucking going to Westgate? Like, that place sucks, right? Now, we did look it up. They have updated quite a bit of Westgate.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we saw like State 48 Funk House, which has like a bowling alley and a shuffleboard and stuff like that. Anyway, so Mary looks it up and she's like, you won't fucking guess what they have over there. I'm not gonna guess. I'm like, what? Like, she's all like, Ike's Love and Sandwiches. Oh shit. So there's one over on the west side. I don't know when they put it up, right? So it could have been here this whole time while I was stuck in, quarantine for the last year, not knowing that there's a fucking sandwich shop 10 minutes down the road from me of one of my favorite fucking sandwich shops. So we went there. I got the meatball sub. Let me see if I can pull it up, man, because the way, let's see, Ike's Love and...
It's funny that you're bringing up sandwich shops because I have to go to Gilbert on Tuesday for work. And somebody else at work was telling me that there's a sandwich shop over there. And they told me about this like a month ago because I was over there with a group of people for work. And we were going to go get lunch together. And we ended up not having time, so nobody went. But they were telling me, oh, this place has a prickly pear marinated chicken sandwich. It is the best thing they've ever eaten in their life. And I said, well,
you should.
I mean, sandwiches are pretty good. And then I asked them, have they ever been to McAllister's and had one of their Reubens? Because that's my favorite sandwich currently. And they said that they actually had, like, one of the weird, like, coincidences of, like, yeah, I've been there. And this other place is better. So now I have to go back to Gilbert on Tuesday. And I'm going to be, like, 2 minutes away from this place. It's called Flancer's. What's the full name of it? Flancer's Incredible Sandwiches and Pizza. And I'm going to go. And I'm going to go have this prickly pear chicken sandwich. And I will report back next week if it's if it beats McAllister's Reuben or not.
Yeah, because I know that's your jam currently. So as you stated, but yeah, we ate there pretty frequently. So it'd be nice to see that. The website doesn't have the sandwich on there, which is weird because I've had it at two different locations. It's called the Michael Jordan. So it's the number 23. It's a meatball. It comes with pepper jack cheese, their dirty sauce on a, what do they call it? It's on a particular bread. Something that's like a crunch. Anyway, we're going to go at one point where you're going to try it. It's fucking phenomenal, man. It's so good. And it's a big sandwich too. So I'm super pumped. So that was my highlight of last week or the week before that, the weekend, is that we found it. So come Monday, I took a picture and I sent it to people at work and I was like, you'll never guess what I have over here. And everyone's like, we hate you so much because one, they like it, but two, once I found out about it, I just kept going. So anytime that we were at work and someone's like, what do you want to have for lunch? I would tell them, let's go to Ike's. You always want to fucking go to Ike's, So it was one of those things. It was my thing.
I'm looking at these sandwiches right now on their website and my goodness, that looks phenomenal. I'm not going to lie.
On Ike's or on the place you're going?
At Ike's. I'm on Ike's website. Oh, yeah. Because I love saucy sandwiches. Like, the more condiments that are on a sandwich, the better for me. I mean, obviously, I don't want a sandwich with just condiments, unless it's PB&J. You could classify peanut butter and jelly as condiments. I don't know.
But jelly could be the sauce.
Man, I like saucy food. And this looks like saucy sandwiches, which are my favorite food.
It's so good. I can't overhype it enough to make everyone disappointed if they don't agree with me. Now, some people say that Chiba Hut is better than Ike's, but I haven't had Chiba Hut, so I don't believe your lies. That's what I tell people.
Man, okay. So They have a sandwich in here that's catching my eye. It's called the Hunter Pence. Turkey, bacon, avocado, barbecue sauce, honey mustard, Swiss cheddar, pepper jack. Lettuce, tomato, hot, served hot. Wow.
Which one are you looking at?
Number 34, Hunter Pence.
Okay. Did you look at the number 240 on the top? Madison Bumgarner?
I did, but the habanero, like, I like spicy food, but my esophagus doesn't. So I saw habanero in there and then pepper jack. And it's like, I don't know if I'll feel very good after eating that.
You got the Steph Curry as well.
Let's see. Turkey, Ike's yellow barbecue sauce, provolone. Straightforward to the point, just like the man himself. Like, it does sound good. Okay, I'm in. You sold it.
Yeah,
I'm in.
This
Let's
is
do
going to
this.
be really good. So with this, I wanted to ask Dan, what is the best sandwich? Well, you've already answered what is the best sandwich in any establishment, but what would make your dream sandwich?
Oh shit, man.
So we can break it down, right? So what kind of bread would you want?
Whole wheat.
Whole wheat?
Whole wheat. I
So-
would also accept a honey wheat.
Honey wheat is
with a perfect
I like
sandwich.
honey wheat because it does give you like that little sweet. It's not like overpowering, but it's enough towards like it's noticeable.
It really depends on what's on the sandwich too. Like, if I'm making a Reuben, I'm not going to use honey wheat or whole wheat. It needs to be sourdough. That's part of what makes a Reuben a Reuben.
Yeah, but it could be Dan's Reuben. Right?
I
The single ton, right? All right, hear me out.
Well, this isn't man versus food.
No, it could be. It could be. We can make a sandwich called the single ton, right? And it's just like one of those all meats, So it has turkey, roast beef, ham, maybe, or some, like a salami, maybe. You know what I mean? Nothing where it's just like, I don't want it to be all meat, but I want that ton to be, it's a meat sandwich. And then you could add all your other toppings on there, or, the vegetables with it, the sauces. So the sandwich is a big one. I could see that. I could see you making something like that.
I mean, I could give it a go. I've made some pretty crazy food in the past. Remember like 12 years ago when Epic Mealtime was a thing?
Yeah, I remember you making that stuff.
Do you remember the 10-pound hot dog I made? I mean,
Yes.
that wasn't what it was called at the time, but that's kind of what it turned into.
That's what it came out. Yeah.
That's what it came out as. It was like a 10-pound hot dog. Kielbasa, an Italian sausage wrapped in ground beef and ground turkey, and then bacon lattice wrap around that, covered in cheese whiz. And oh my God, it was really good. I know nobody else ate it with me. I ate it. Whatever. I don't care. It was really good.
So, okay.
But I'd be willing to make a sandwich like that again.
So this isn't changing what type of bread it is. So what sandwich would you want to make that would be the ultimate Dan sandwich?
Ooh. I would say turkey, ham, bacon with provolone and probably just double provolone. Like, let's just get the provolone in here. Maybe some Monterey Jack. Maybe mix it up a bit. If you're feeling squirrely, maybe some pepper jack. But that's again, if you want a little zip in there. So that's like the base of the sandwich, right? Then I would go with lettuce. I mean the classics like lettuce, tomato, black olive, a little bit of pepper on there, some chipotle sauce, like a chipotle mayo would be really good with honey mustard.
Okay.
And then just toast it. Like, I would keep it relatively simple, but the things that are on there, there'd be a lot of it.
That sounds good.
It is good.
Sounds-
I've made it. I've had it before.
So what I would want to do, and I go back and forth, right? Because I do love my breads.
Oh
Right.
shit! Onion. I'm an idiot. I forgot onion. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, everyone. Please forgive me.
Now you just I don't want to try that sandwich. I don't
Oh well.
So I go back and forth. I do like the sweeter rolls, like the Hawaiian bread that they
Hard
do.
to go wrong.
Right. I do like those. However, I think I would go with a Kaiser roll to start off with, right? Just give me a real nice bread. We'll do a little bit of mustard right on the bottom, right? Almost like we're gonna paste. We're gonna really glue everything in here. Then I would take cracked pepper, the cracked pepper turkey, put that on there. I want to do some crispy bacon, put that right on top of the turkey, right? Then I want to take a little bit of roast beef, maybe do like a layer of roast beef on top of the bacon. Yeah. And then
I'm tracking. I'm salivating.
Then I think that would be it for my meats. For the vegetables, I want to add some pickles, some lettuce, tomato, but the lettuce has to be crispy. I don't want that shredded lettuce bullshit that you get from Subway or, the chopped lettuce from Burger King. It has to be a nice piece, a nice sized lettuce that's cold, crisp, right on top of there. Then you're going to add your pickles, your tomatoes. I want to add some black olives. And then I would add...
That's a good choice.
Yeah, I do. I love those. Then some green pepper, because that changes it up a little bit. Right? Add some green peppers to it.
Like bell pepper?
Yeah. So nothing spicy, but something that's flavorful. Right?
I dig it. And it gives it a little crunch, too.
It does. So, which would kind of go hand in hand with the lettuce. That's what I really like when you have a nice burger and they give us that cold, crisp lettuce.
Yeah, cold, crisp, that snap that it gives you.
Yep.
The closer it is to the base of the head of lettuce, the better.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want no flimsy fucking lettuce on my sandwich. On top of that, we'll add Colby Jack cheese. Then we'll add some mayo. Some like just the basic for sauces anyway. I like something that's gonna keep it moist, but not anything like that. What I might actually add to it is a little bit of red wine vinaigrette.
Okay, I can dig that.
Shake that up, put it on there, put the Kaiser roll on the top of that. If you want, you can even toast the bread. Give us another crisp, another crunch. That'd be my fucking sandwich.
I just thought of something I would add to mine. just a at the underneath the meat where you don't put, it's just the bread and then the meat. Right. Between the meat and the bread, just a nice coating, not thick, but just enough to cover the bread of Chick-fil-A sauce.
Yeah, okay. That's your sandwich. That's your sandwich.
Chick-fil-A sauces. I would consider eating that with a spoon.
You know what I might actually do instead of the mayo? I would do like an aioli sauce.
Oh, add a little garlic in there and pump up them flavors.
Yep. I'm gonna make this fucking sandwich.
Black truffle aioli.
Yep.
Yeah.
I am gonna make this sandwich. I'm gonna do some, and it's gonna be like boar's head. When I put it on there. Shit. Yeah. No. None of this fucking private select bullshit. You know?
I would love to meet. That being said, I would love to meet the man whose perfect sandwich includes Oscar Mayer bologna.
Some people's are like that way, where especially when they fry it.
Have you ever made a bologna boat?
No.
You take a piece of bologna, you take a piece of American cheese, one or two. You just rip up that piece of American cheese and you kind of stack it in the middle, and then you put it in the microwave. And as it basically cooks, the edges of the bologna fold upward and make it like a little bowl, and the cheese melts and fills the bowl.
That sounds so fucking gross. It sounds gross.
It is gross. I had a lot of them growing up, and I can't eat those anymore. Like, I've had too many of them growing up. Not my thing. Not my thing anymore.
No, that's gross. So.
Well, we've been talking about food for this whole time, and it's lunchtime, and I haven't eaten. So thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks. I'm super stoked.
Go make that sandwich.
Maybe I'll make some more espresso and just
really drive it home. Really drive it home.
Yeah, totally.
So you were showing me that you got some new stuff.
Oh, yes, I do.
Right.
Yes, I have some new stuff. That was a great transition. It's smooth into something completely unrelated from food.
Well, I mean, you could work off your food with this.
Yeah, totally. So I am starting to gear up for going on longer and longer hikes. And I'm sad because as much as I would love to do a huge like through hike of, you know, the Appalachian Trail or the Pacific Crest Trail or something like that, it's just not realistic for me right now. Like, I can't just disappear for 6 months, as nice as that would be. So, but I still need gear if I'm just going to go out even for just a week or, you know, 5 days or whatever. So I've been gearing up for that kind of stuff. And I got my new GoPro. I bought the GoPro Hero 9. They were selling it. They have like a bundle deal going right now. So it came with the GoPro itself, several different mounts, an extra battery. It came with a memory card. It came with a handle, a floating handle. So if you drop it in a body of water, you don't lose it, or at least you can see it as it floats away at minimum. I haven't had a chance to really test it out yet. I just got it. It just got delivered like 2 days ago. So I also got the protective case housing for it. Because you just, you know, when you're out and about, you just never know what you're going to encounter. So I'd rather be prepared. And I'm pretty excited to start testing this thing out. There's a lot of cool features that I'll have to learn, but you can do a lot of it through the app on a phone. You can control it remotely. You can edit in real time. You don't have to be at a computer to do that kind of stuff, I don't think. It's going to be a learning process, and I'm excited to get to it.
It's fun. I like it. I like the GoPros. I think you'll have a lot of fun with it. Did you get any like straps or anything? You know, like if you're doing a backpack, you know, strap it on there. Or I know that GoPros have like a chest piece where you can.
I haven't gotten any of that. I know it's out there. I haven't even gotten all my big gear yet. So until I get all that situated, then I'm going to find out what works best for me as far as like where I want to hold it. If I want to, you know, if I do want to put it on like a shoulder strap, I can. I just want to find out after I get everything else what'll work best.
Get one of those Death Stranding little arms that hang on the shoulder.
Totally. Yep. But in addition to that, I also got my Garmin watch that connects with my Garmin Explorer Mini, which is a little GPS unit. So I've been looking for a new watch anyway, so I figured I would just upgrade and get something that is compatible with other equipment that I'll be using anyway.
Nice.
So this just arrived. The watch arrived 4 or 5 days ago. So I'm still learning that as well. But there's a lot of cool features to this as well. The one I'm most excited about is it has solar charging.
Oh, that's cool.
So I shouldn't have to worry about plugging it in while I'm out, because it'll just recharge on its own as I'm out walking and hiking and doing things anyway. And it's waterproof. It has GPS. It has, you know, it can tell me real-time weather for my location. It tells me elevation. It can I can program it. I haven't done it yet, but I can program it to, if I go in and pick certain programmed messages, I can send them even if I don't have cell phone service.
Yeah.
So I can call for help through it. I can send a message that says, hey, I don't have cell phone service, but everything's okay. whatever message I want to program in there, I can set up ahead of time so I can send it no matter where I am.
That's cool. I wish they would do stuff like that with the Apple Watch, and specifically the solar charging, because this fucking thing, they make it seem like you should be wearing it all the time, but come the end of the day, that's it. If you don't put it on the charger, it's useless after halfway through your sleep schedule.
Yeah, when this thing is fully charged, it has 25 days, and it depends on what settings you have active. If you're doing full route navigation and full GPS features, that's going to cut down the time significantly, to maybe a day.
Right.
But for day-to-day use, when I'm not out and about doing stuff and I'm just wearing it, when I go to work or something, 25 days is how long it has. And that's if it's in complete darkness for that whole time. So, which isn't the case. Obviously, we live in the Phoenix area. So I got it. It had 15 days of power. I charged it up to 25. I've had it for 4 or 5 days now. I'm at 24 days of power.
That's awesome.
Because it's been charging itself. So, yeah, I think it's pretty good. It costs a little more for that solar charging feature. I think it was it's like $100 difference. I think it was, but in my eyes, that's well worth.
Totally worth it.
That's well worth having to deal with that bullshit hassle,
especially if you're out and about all the time. If you it's not even just for hiking. If you work outside, if you are an electrician or something, and you're always outside, it's just might as well have it. Or
I wear it on my left wrist, and so when I'm driving home, if I have my arm resting on my the door frame of my truck,
it's fully charged by the time you get home.
It's getting charged as I drive because it's in the sunlight. So whether I'm outside walking or just I'm driving home or driving to get wherever, if it's in direct sunlight, it's getting charged, and that is plentiful in this neck of the woods is sunlight.
Fucking A, that's cool.
Yeah,
where'd you get that at again?
I ordered it directly from Garmin, actually. They were having I think I first saw it 6-8 months ago, and I was like, oh, I'm going to save up for that watch. And a month and a half ago, REI put it on sale, and I happened to come across it. I was like, that's a good sale. And then so I was like, I wonder if there's anybody else that has a sale going on right now. And Garmin had one for the same exact watch going, and it was $50 less than REI's sale. And I was like, if they want to undercut them, I win. So I just bit the bullet and bought it.
Was it like a Father's Day sale?
It was around that time. It was a little bit before that. It was 2 weeks before that.
Okay.
So
prepping for Father's Day, maybe.
Whatever. I win.
Cool.
I mean, it was a big upfront because the watch, the Garmin Explorer Mini, and this GoPro bundle that I bought. I mean, these aren't cheap items, but I'm very much of the philosophy: buy once, cry once. So if you buy something that's high quality the first time, you probably won't have to buy anything to replace it for quite a long time. And
that's where that expression you get what you pay for comes into play. You know what I mean? That's exactly. Sure. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. Pretty excited to learn these items and actually get to test them out and put them through their paces soon enough. We're just waiting for the weather to cool down at this point.
Right. Which, it's not Arizona. Not in Arizona anyway. So speaking of tech, I don't want to get into what we've been playing yet. I saw that on the dock. The hunt for Xbox Series X continues.
Yeah.
Now, I got a fucking story to tell you. And I think I told you a little bit about this when we were playing our game, which we're going to talk about. So I've been following some people on Twitter. They were telling me about not telling me. They're just posting about where the Series X and the Series S and the PS5s and wherever they're launching out in the wild. So I found that Best Buy had both Series X and Series S. Now, I want the power, so I don't want the Series S. So I went for the Series X, and I was able to get in, and I was able to put all my information in after struggling with it. For some reason, my bank didn't like that I was using my card, with Best Buy. They eventually thought it was fraud, is why I was having such issues. But I put in the information. They asked me to sign into my, bank so I can get a code. I did that. I put in the code. It's all great. This code is legit. Let's move on by entering in your credit card again. I was like, oh, okay. So I put in my credit card again. It's like, all right, we need you to verify that this is your card. Enter in the code that they sent you. Okay. Enter in the code, and they're like, fantastic. Thanks for putting in your information. Put your card in again. So I'm already getting frustrated because I think that I'm running out of time, like most people, where shit will get taken out of your cart. Right. So I'm like, fuck this. I see that you have it on, a PayPal. Let me use PayPal. So I sign into PayPal with it. It's like, great, we're going to send you a code. It's like, awesome. So I put in the code. It's like, thanks for entering your code for PayPal. You need to enter in your PayPal again. Best Buy's website, such fucking horseshit. It was so frustrating, right? But eventually I got it to go through. I called my bank. I was talking to them about it. They said that they think it was a fraud because they saw 2 transactions trying to come through and they blocked both, right? So I talked to them. I was like, that's me. I'm trying to make a purchase for a fucking game console. Let it go through. So they pushed it through. Once they did that, Best Buy's like, great, we have it. Thumbs up. Awesome. Here's my confirmation number, yada, yada. I was supposed to pick it up today, right? So I got the Xbox. Great. The week goes on. Wednesday, I get with the kids and Mary, and we went to their karate or whatever. And while I'm sitting there, I get a text message or an email saying your order needs to be updated. Your payment is doing its thing. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? I was like, you guys took my money already. So I signed in. They're like, we didn't actually take your money. We just put a hold on your money. But you need to update your credit card. So I updated my credit card, and they're all like, fuck you. We just canceled the account, or we just canceled the order. So I didn't understand what the hell was happening. So I reached out to Best Buy directly, with their customer service. And I said, hey, this is what the situation is. The bank already cleared it. I need this console. And they said, okay, let me see what the order is. They look it up. They're like, well, it's been canceled. It's like, I know. Can you reactivate it? You guys are shipping it out. I can I can give you whatever the hell you need to get. And they're like, no, it's already been canceled. We can't do anything about it. You'll just have to put in a new order at a later date when we have more. So I'm pissed, right? It's complete horseshit. So because it was Wednesday, I knew that they had probably already sent my Xbox to Best Buy, right? So I was like, great. Sure. I'm going to go on Friday this morning at the time of this recording, and I'm going to see if they have it. Now, I got caught up with work, with day job stuff, and I couldn't get out. Like, I left at 10, but I didn't leave before 10. So I got there at 10:20. I walked in there. I told the guy the situation of what happened. He says, yes, we did get some Xboxes. We had 2 that had been canceled orders. They're already sold. So my fucking console did show up, and it was sold because I didn't get there before they opened, because they opened at 10. So I was like, that sucks, right? Because I remember, I was talking to you, where I eventually got it through Walmart, and Walmart says I'm not supposed to be getting it until July 26th or 23rd or something like that. I'm like, that's fine. I don't mind waiting as long as you don't fuck me out of it, like Best Buy did. And that's where I was telling you, it was like, if I go there and they have it, I'm picking it up, and then you could take over the Walmart thing, and then that way you get it at the end of the month. But it sucks that they had 2 consoles there.
God damn. And one person probably bought both of them.
Yeah, and they're probably up on eBay right now. So
God damn it. Yeah, I'm looking at Walmart's website right now for Xbox Series X, and it looks like they have one available, but it's $800.
Yeah, I think that's because it's either one all access or the way Walmart's website works sometimes is they're doing like third party sales. So that if you're going to do that, you're buying it from a scalper essentially at that point. So
Yeah, I'm not paying $100.
I'm still waiting to see if there's any update, for another one, and then I can let you know about that.
Well, thanks, bud. I appreciate that.
Hey, you got it. Because, we got to get that new tech. I just got to get that. So now moving on with the Xbox talk, we're playing on the Oculus. And we're playing
we are.
Demeo. Right? Which you've been
Demeo.
playing. And
or Demeo. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. And what is it? Episode 2?
Episode 2 or book 2, I think is what they call it.
Well, I was talking about like when we talked about it last, episode 2 or one of the other, one of the E3 shows. You told me to get it. So you've been playing it for a while. I recently just picked it up and we played 2 different games since I've picked it up. You've been playing a myriad of it. What do you think of it?
The expansion or the game itself?
Well, the game itself. Like, so if people who aren't familiar with the game on the Oculus, what is Demeo?
So Demeo is essentially a VR version of VR and simplified version of Dungeons and Dragons. It's probably the easiest way to describe it. There's no leveling up. There's no long-term progression. Like what happens in one game stays in one game. It's not going to affect your future games, right? You have 4 classes to pick from. You have a warrior, you have a mage, you have a hunter, and you have an assassin. So a rogue, basically. And they fit the stereotype of those classes everybody should be pretty familiar with that is into that genre of games.
Yeah. Which is like bullshit, by the way, that they make the mage some fucking old geezer.
There's definitely stereotypes involved with these 4 characters. I would say that with the exception of the warrior, who is technically, they classify that character as like a royal guardian, and it's a female.
Right.
So I think that probably breaks the mold a little bit on the typical fighter class or tank class. But everything else is pretty standard. Nothing fancy. And there's a card-based system, so you earn cards as you play through the levels, and you can use those as one-time abilities. The base game is, I think I really enjoy it. The mechanics are pretty solid. It's a well-developed game, even though it's not overly complicated. It's pretty well made. The level of detail is amazing. You can zoom in and look at the characters, look at the world, look at the enemies, and the detail is there. It's really nice. The expansion. So they call them books. So book 1 was the Tomb of the Elven King, I believe. And you go through 3 levels, and the boss fight is the Elven Queen. And you're unlocking the Tomb of the Elven King. A lot of fun. The more players you have, it does scale up. So if you're running through it by yourself, they scale the enemies down so that you can actually, have a chance.
Right.
And you can play up to 4 people. Scales up. They hit a little harder. They have a little more health, things of that nature. And book 1, the Elven Necropolis levels are really good. I really enjoy them. And it's randomly generated, so you're not always fighting the same enemies in the same places every time you run through. Whereas the expansion, which is called the Rat King, like the sewers of the Rat King, I think, or something like that.
Right.
Leaves a little bit to be desired, because I know a lot of complaints was, this game's a little bit too easy. We need to crank it up a bit. So they made some changes, most notably with line of sight and sight distance, which I can give you. You're in a dark sewer. It's not like there's skylights, right? You're not going to be able to see as far. But they really cranked up the difficulty. There's way more enemies. They're a lot more powerful. They limit some of the things you can do as a player, and you can't see very far. There's some issues with the enemies. They can see you across the map. They can shoot you through walls. I don't think that was intentional. I think that's something that they're going to fix. I can't imagine that they're going to let that keep going, because it's severely broken in that regard.
That's the main thing that drives me crazy with the expansion is the line of sight shit, with the arrows. Even playing a match by myself, or even when we were playing together, when I ducked around a wall so that I was out of range of an archer, they still hit me through the wall, like through a block.
It was through a wall and through a floor, because they were like across the map, and
on like the second floor.
Yeah, so they were shooting
second level
map through a floor, through a wall to hit you.
Yeah. So it was, that I do think that they're going to do some updates for that, and I'm hoping to fix that. I've actually been trying to find it, not as actively as I should, but at least go on their website and report it and say, hey, what the hell.
Yeah, I'm sure they're probably aware of quite a bit. I know that there's been a lot of complaints on like the subreddit for the game.
Okay.
About why did you make these kinds of decisions? They've really hampered the game, and not in just like, I know some people were outright cheating before the expansion came out, because there was like card duping going on, which is that's just cheating.
I don't mind how they do the cards. The main problem, and at that point, even my issue with the darkness and stuff does add a bit of a challenge in the sewers. I don't mind that so much, and it wouldn't be so bad if I didn't also have to worry about, phantom arrows flying through every fucking brick.
Yeah, that is, again, I don't think that was intentional. I don't think that's something that they did to say, hey, we're going to make this really hard and they can shoot you anywhere, no matter what.
What I don't get is why didn't they see that when they were testing it? Because it happens all the time. It happens first game out the gate, and it's been happening every time. If there's an archer in the level, they shoot through the wall.
I wish I had an answer.
Right.
I don't know.
So it'd be different if it was like, oh, the Rat King is glitched. We can't beat him. That could be something, but I don't know. Or maybe they didn't pay attention to the archers so much, I mean, and we're not trying to shit on the game. It's actually a lot of fun. Now that I picked it up
just a couple of issues that I'm sure that they will address and work out. But the game is, like I said, it's a
lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. The more people you have, the better.
The models themselves, I'm always impressed with that, right? I like zooming in, as much as possible and just staring at everything. Like the pile of gold that you see on the ground, sometimes I will zoom in just to look at the detail of that. I find that really well done. I think the character models look really well done. I like the sound effects that everything's happening. I like that while you don't see the dungeon master that controls the enemies, that lady, she's still
narrating.
Talking. Yeah, exactly. I really like that. It's such a cool, like I almost want to say I would like to see Dungeons and Dragons make a game like this, but they just released a game on the consoles that's just fucking garbage. So I don't want them to make a game like this.
Yeah, and I know I mentioned a minute ago when I was kind of describing the overall game that there is no leveling up as you play. And that's true for the characters. Like, as you're playing, they don't get more powerful. They don't get more health. You don't get more damage, nothing like that. But
they get cosmetics, though, right?
Your player profile does level up as you play, and you unlock cosmetics as you play. So, like, the mage will wear different robes, or your dice, you can change the colors of it, or the little platform that your character stands on, you can change that and you'll unlock those as you progress through your profile levels. So the characters don't get stronger, but your profile unlocks things to make things look different.
One of the things that I actually don't like is when we have 4 players and we're trying to figure out what to do, everybody is still in your way. So like, while I'm trying to look at the map, see where the enemies are, I see a hand pop up in my face, or I see one, other masks of the other players like clipping over each other, but it's also blocking me. So I have to constantly move the map around to try to find that sweet spot where I can actually see everything. I would like them to do an update where if it's not your turn, you don't get to see the character, or at least the characters look like they're stepped aside, so that way you're not being obstructed when you're looking at the level. I can get on that. That's my own personal preference on that. That's my own deal. But other than that, I really like the game, and we're gonna be playing again Saturday. I would like to try to figure out a way so we can record everybody's and put it all together so we can kind of make a video out of it. I know that drains the headset and we want to play as long as possible. So I need to look into getting another battery pack or something like that, Yeah,
I use an external battery that I just keep in my pocket and plug in as I play.
Yeah.
The cord gets in the way minimally, but you kind of just get used to it.
Right. So I might look into that. If it comes down to it, maybe you and I can run through it, because I played the last night when I played with all 4 classes. I really like it. I had the opportunity to check out what every class does. I'm not a fan of the tank, the warrior. I just don't like the way that it plays for me. But I do like the assassin quite a bit. Surprisingly, I didn't think I was going to, but I do like that one. I was just throwing lanterns out and blinding people, and one of the things I noticed that, we haven't really played the assassin a whole lot, but when purposely try to set it up to where you can go behind an enemy and attack there and do backstab for more damage. I think the last time we played, we only did that a couple times, even though their back was exposed. So I don't know. I'd like to try it out being the assassin. The next time
I think that's another cool mechanic of the game is that if for instance, if somebody picks the hunter, which is the ranged archer class,
right?
That doesn't prevent other players that you're playing with from also picking it. Like, you could have 4 hunters in your group. You could have 4 assassins.
Oh yeah, or what was brought up to us, 4 mages.
4 mages. Just zap, zap,
if you want to wipe out on the first floor, But it's a lot of fun. I would actually like to do that where it's like, okay, let's screw around. Let's do the 4 mages. Let's see how far we can get, knowing that we're gonna wipe, and then we're just gonna jump right back in. We'll fix it up. So I would like to try that out.
Could be fun.
Just to see how we all do. I could do it all by myself, but each mage is going to play exactly how I would play that mage. Having other people play the mages would lay it out in a way that would be super interesting. So
yep.
So Saturday, I'm looking forward to that. Now, I do want to show you something. I'm very excited about this. I know it's an audio podcast at the moment, so maybe I'll take a picture and post it. A lot of people don't give a shit about it, but I do. So give me a second.
Oh, I'm excited. What is this? I know. Yeah, like he said, nobody else can see it but me right now. But what do we got? What do we got?
So Build-A-Bear was doing Animal Crossing Build-A-Bears, right? And they've done 2 Build-A-Bears. They did Tom Nook, who is the raccoon that you talk to. He's the one that helps you update your house. He's the one that essentially tells you what to do in the game. Make sure you build this house, do whatever for the dailies, yada yada. Then you have Isabel. Isabel is a dog. She's the one that, every time you go in the game, she's like, hey, good morning. It's whatever date, whatever time. If it's somebody's birthday on the island, she will talk to you about it and whatever. Whatever character. Now, when they started doing Build-A-Bear for Animal Crossing, I knew that they were going to do one particular character, and when they had him, I was going to fucking get it. And so they did KK Slider. This dog is like a fucking hippie. He shows up every Saturday on your island. He will play songs from 6 p.m. to midnight, right? So on the bottom of the foot, it shows Animal Crossing, New Horizons. So it's from the newest game. On the hand, you got the paw, whatever it says, Build-A-Bear. He does have a guitar. Dude, he's the fucking goodest boy. Now, I did actually get it to where he sings his own songs. I don't know if we can hear this. Can you hear it at all?
I can hear it, yeah. I can't understand what he's saying.
That's the point. You're hearing it right.
Oh, okay.
So this is a song. It's called KK Disco. He sings it in the game. Dude, he's fucking awesome. So I just got him yesterday. FedEx dropped him off for me.
You're a nerd.
So I wanted to show that off. Super fucking dorky. But like you can see back there, I have the Yoshi. That's also Build-A-Bear. So it's like every once in a while they'll do one where it's like, let me fucking get this one, So I was very excited about it. Mary doesn't understand it. A lot of people don't, unless you play the game and you're like, fuck, it's KK Slider. He's been in every game, since it released in 2002 on the GameCube for us. He's just fucking cool. So,
I recently bought something. I bought something nerdy recently, but it's not related to games.
What's that?
It's a book. It's about 2 inches thick, and it's called The History of the World in Maps.
So to go with that game you've been playing, like the where you have to name all the countries.
Oh no, that was just a personal. I mean, kind of, but that was just like a personal education thing. The countries testing. This was actually inspired by. I am for my third time, maybe fourth time. I'm listening to the History of Rome podcast to and from work. And so that's what inspired that purchase, because there's a lot of places that are described in that podcast that, they describe the location, and on a map, I can picture where that is on a big map, but they talk about like, oh, over in the Po Valley, like where the hell's the Po Valley? I don't know that kind of specific stuff. So
right.
That's what inspired that purchase, so I can look and be like, oh, this is where they were at this time, and they came from over here, and this other group came, sailed up this way. And so, again, it's just a personal learning type of thing. Give a visual context to something I listen to and from work all the time.
That's cool. That's really neat.
That's pretty nerdy. Like, it's pretty nerdy, but they had it on sale for Amazon for Prime. They had it on Prime Day is where I saw it, and it was on sale. And I was like, ooh, yeah, I'm gonna be the scumbag that buys shit from Amazon. I don't care.
Yeah, whatever. Everybody, I mean, people do that with Chick-fil-A. If you want to get into that kind of stuff. So I wanted to talk about, to get into the last segment of the show before we do what you wanted to bring up. So Mary found this, and it was actually pretty interesting. I wanted to bring it up. So something that caught our eye, this is found on Wikipedia, and this is what is this? So it's the list of highest grossing films. Now there's 25 of them. We don't have to go through all 25, of course. We could do like the top 5 or anything like that, or top 10 maybe. And then I wanted to bring it up and kind of see, what you thought where certain things fell. So with the first one, what would you think is the highest grossing film series?
Film series?
Right.
I'm going to guess Star Wars.
No. I would have thought Star Wars too, but it's not. What's another series that's doing phenomenal right now?
MCU?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, okay, well, that makes sense. There's way more of them.
Right. So, Marvel Cinematic Universe shows total worldwide, it's like $22 billion.
Jesus Christ.
between all 23 films.
So they're averaging nearly $1 billion per movie.
Close. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you have the highest grossing film being Avengers Endgame. So now it actually broke down phase 3, which I think is the last phase that they've done. That's where all the money started really coming in. So you have Avengers Endgame is number 1. Number 2, Avengers Infinity War.
Makes sense.
Naturally. Number 3, Black Panther. Number 4, Captain America Civil War. And then number 5, Spider-Man Far From Home. And then from there, it starts to drop with the other phase 3s. But
I would imagine, though, because I've looked at lists like this before, does it adjust for inflation?
I didn't read that part.
Because a ticket price when Iron Man came out is much different than a ticket price when Endgame came out.
Yeah. Okay. So they didn't put it in order of what was the highest amount. So Avengers Endgame is actually still the highest grossing film, but when it's phase 3, it actually put in the list from most recent to the first. So that's why it was in that order. But Endgame actually did almost $700 million more than Infinity War.
I 100% believe that,
which is crazy.
And it's hard to think that we'll ever see numbers like that again. I know that's kind of a bold prediction, but after COVID, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
we'll hit those kinds of numbers again.
That's true.
Especially as releases start coming out on HBO and Disney Plus and streaming.
I'm not going to see Black Widow in theater. I'm going to get it on Disney Plus when it comes out.
That's my point.
So I'd rather do my point. It's exactly what we've talked about in our group chats and stuff like that. Being stuck at home, we've updated enough in our house for a theatrical experience. You have that 4K, we're going to be updating our TV downstairs because I really wanted to get that 65-inch or 75-inch, whatever, LG OLED 4K, whatever, and that's going to go with our surround sound.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, you bet your ass I'm not going to be paying to go to a theater to sit next to some asshole who won't shut the fuck up, or some kid that's crying. At least the kids that cry in the house, we can send them upstairs.
Oh, that's a good point.
You know what I mean? So I'd rather. We're going to have the experience at home. I don't want to go to a theater. There's nothing in the theater at this point that is going to give me a different experience or a more enjoyable experience than being in my house. And even with Disney Plus, $30 a movie, get a couple people over, now you have your popcorn and your candy and you can barbecue prior to doing whatever. So you have this whole different experience and it works out much better than a theater. And I don't have to wear pants.
F&A.
So what would you think if Marvel Cinematic Universe is number 1? What do you think the second?
I would again guess Star Wars,
and you would be wrong.
Harry Potter.
Kidding. No, it is okay. Star Wars. So it is Star Wars, and it shows. So what do you think the highest grossing film of the series is?
Phantom Menace.
Unfortunately, no. So
I find that kind of surprising. Is it the original then?
It's actually going to be The Force Awakens.
Gross.
And I think it's because everybody was so excited that Disney owned Star Wars. They put all these names on here that people were starting to look, recognize. They wanted to see this, Disney and Lucasfilm, getting into bed together. They're going to have some crazy effects. And they did. But the story was garbage. But I think at that point, everybody had went and saw it. That's why The Force Awakens was still higher. And I think because of how they did The Force Awakens, it damaged other movies like Rogue One or the sequels after that, 7 and 8 or whatever,
which is
or 8,
super
9.
important. Well, 8 and 9 just made it worse, really.
Right.
It's a shame for Rogue One because that is a legitimately awesome movie. Like it's good. I know
people have told me. Right? I haven't seen it. I have only, when Disney purchased Star Wars and they wiped out all of the expanded universe, they wiped out all my favorite characters, and then they created Kylo Ren that is supposed to be a Jason Solo. I don't think so. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit, So, but yeah, so it does. It looks like 7, The Force Awakens did, so
it's The Force. Okay, well, not the one I would have guessed.
Yeah, Force Awakens, and then from there, The Last Jedi drops, and then The Rise of Skywalker drops even lower than that.
Shocker.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah. Like The Force Awakens looks like it doubled The Phantom Menace.
Wow.
Even Rogue One, it doubled Rogue One.
Again, is that adjusting for inflation?
Oh, yeah. Okay, but even with Rogue One, right? Rogue One came out not too long after that. So Rogue One was in 2016. The Force Awakens was 2015. So in a year, it didn't. There's no inflation for that. It had doubled Rogue One.
Well, there is inflation, but it'd be pretty minimal.
Well, not in the scale that you're talking about with Phantom Menace being like 1999 or whatever it was.
Right.
So, then next one. What do you think? So we'll do number 3. What was number 3?
Series. We're still on movie series.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let's go with. Well, I think it might be Harry Potter. Harry Potter's probably up there.
Yep.
Okay.
It is. It is Harry Potter with the highest. Well, so what do you think what movie was the highest grossing for that series?
It Deathly Hallows Part 1.
Close. Part 2 actually did the higher.
Okay.
So it was an interesting site or an interesting list too, but they're also including Fantastic Beasts. So that's what popped Harry Potter up, I think, a little bit higher. So now after this is where the list started getting a little janky for me. So after Harry Potter, so you have MCU, you have Star Wars, and then you have the Harry Potter series, including Fantastic Beasts. After that, they put the Avengers by themselves.
Yeah, that should be part of the MCU.
Right. So they're putting Avengers as number 4 highest grossing series. But Avengers isn't a series by itself. That's part of the MCU, Right. So, and then they broke down. So number 5, they did. It's another superhero film. Surprising. I mean, it's surprising, but it's not surprising.
Well, is it? So it's another series of Superman movies, or right. That's my guess. Is Superman?
It's a superhero. It's a superhero movie.
Superman or Batman.
Spider-Man.
Might be Spider. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. But
Spider-Man pulls in.
Some of those are MCU. Some of them aren't.
Well, they're counting all of them. So they counted them all, and they're breaking it up by director. So you have the Raimi series. You did the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so they are including those, which bumps up, that ranking. You did the web series, and then the Sony Pictures universe of Marvel characters. So that it includes Venom, and then also Into the Spider-Verse, the animated.
Okay. Well, so I think it makes sense.
Yeah, like I said, this list was interesting to see where the rankings were. But then they started jumbling it up a little bit by separating it. if you're going to count Spider-Man, you might as well put that under, I understand it's not under the MCU, so you shouldn't count the MCU movies. Avengers shouldn't be on their own thing. Now they did like the James Bond series, that was number 6. And then, which was cool, they broke that up. So because you're a James Bond fan.
I am.
Right?
I am.
So,
yes.
Like, what do you think was the rankings?
Like
by,
which one?
Not movies, but by actor, the Bonds.
Well, I'm guessing number 1 is going to be Sean Connery. If not, it's Daniel Craig.
It's Daniel Craig.
Okay. And then Sean Connery, right?
Nope.
Really?
Well,
Pierce
let
Brosnan?
me see. Yes.
Pierce Brosnan's number 2? Or is it Sean Connery?
Pierce Brosnan's number 2.
Who made this list?
It's on Wikipedia, and it's based off of like their box offices for each movies that they were in.
Oh! I thought you meant like who is everyone's favorite, not who's brought in the most money.
Right?
Yeah. Sean Connery's the first one, so you're talking about like Dr. No in the '60s. Ticket prices were whatever they were in the '60s. They weren't what they are now. So yeah, Skyfall is going to bring in more than Thunderball.
Looking at this, I don't think they counted for inflation. So after Pierce Brosnan, you had Roger Moore, and then you had Sean Connery, and then Timothy Dalton. And
so at the bottom is going to be George Lazenby.
Yeah, that's because he only had one movie.
Yeah, and he was a shit Bond.
Yeah, and then Timothy Dalton, he had 2 films. Sean Connery had 6. Roger Moore 7, but Pierce Brosnan 4, and that's where I think the inflation starts to separate everything.
And the series became more. I mean, it's always been
mainstream,
popular, but it became really like because GoldenEye really rocketed that
it
series.
Did become more mainstream. It did, it did change things. Like I think once it started getting more funding, it was able to do more tech wise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
And Skyfall was the highest film for the James Bond series.
Not a surprise. It has arguably the best James Bond intro in any of the movies.
Not even intro, but the whole story. Like Skyfall is my favorite one.
It gives you a lot of background.
Mm-hmm.
It was good. It was good.
Yeah.
It was. Quantum of Solace is probably one of the more disappointing ones.
And that's the bottom one. But it was Casino Royale. So it goes from bottom to top. Quantum of Solace, Casino Royale, Spectre, Skyfall. Spectre was disappointing. I don't want to say it was disappointing. It just didn't live up to the hype of the trailers that they were showing.
Sure.
I think that was kind of like, Avengers Age of Ultron, where like you guys were painting a different picture in the trailers than what actually was in the movies. So, but it's a neat list, like I said. After that, then you go into Fast and Furious, which they do include Fast 9, which just opened up last weekend, and which is interesting. So the first opening weekend, Fast 9 or F9 or whatever you want to fucking call it, went from the newest to number 5 on their list out of 10 films. So first weekend they already hit halfway. I think by the time it's done being in theaters, it will be probably number 2, because I think Furious 7
is the first one. Is the one that has grossed the most the one that came out after Paul Walker died?
Yes, Furious 7. That was his last film.
Of course.
So and I think that's why it's always going to stay number 1, no matter how good F9 is. It's going to peak at number 2.
It can't. Like, I saw the first Fast and Furious about the time it came out, and but
they just changed it so much. So like, Fast and Furious, the first one, is only number 8 on the list. The one that's below that. So you have Hobbs and Shaw. That brings in the tail, which that's a side story. Whatever. So if you're going to count the actual numbered ones, Fast and Furious 2 Tokyo Drift is the last one. Then it goes to the first one, and then or was
that movie series just isn't my cup of tea. Yeah. want to enjoy it by all means, but it's not something I'm going to go out of my way to watch.
And I'm sorry, Too Fast, Too Furious moved up.
I might go out of way. I might go out of my way not to watch those movies. That's how unappealing they are to me.
So then from there, you have X-Men, which includes Deadpool and Wolverine, as well as New Mutants. And then they did Batman. That came in number 9, which had Nolan as the highest. So The Dark Knight Rises is the highest grossing film.
I would have guessed it would have been The Dark Knight, but okay.
I know. I think everybody was very excited about Bane. Yeah. And the fact that he's going to, break Batman's back, he's going to just steal all his tech, everything like that. And it's not well received over Dark Knight. But yeah, Dark Knight Rises brought in. And it wasn't even that much more money. Well, I guess it was.
It was also came out 4 years after the fact, after Dark Knight.
Yep. So, and then the Burton Schumacher series, they blended that in together. So again, that's another inconsistency with this list. Where Spider-Man had every director, Batman they started combining 2 of them.
So it's not a well-made list. So that was what, number 8 or number 9 on this list?
Number 9.
So want to round out the top 10 here?
And then top 10 is a fantasy adventure.
Fantasy adventure. Oh, Lord of the Rings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they've come out, because
they included all of it too.
Hobbit.
So you have the Lord of the Rings series, The Hobbit, and then Lord of the Rings 1978.
Yeah.
So
there's some inconsistencies on that list. It sounds like of how they calculate things.
Right. So it's interesting. I liked it. We went through it. They had shit on there: Jurassic Park, Transformers, Pirates of the Caribbean, Despicable Me, Mission Impossible, Shrek, shit like that. But it was really neat to see the list, even if it had some issues. So
I wonder what the list is for individual movies and adjusted for inflation. Because I bet you then you start. I bet you start seeing some older movies on there. Like like Wizard of Oz, maybe, because hey, when you adjust for inflation and tickets were 10 cents.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. So Avatar is a movie by itself, right? Not necessarily a series yet, but when they do the second one, that becomes a series. That's gonna skyrocket up the list.
Yeah, I still haven't
seen it. It's gonna push a lot of things down. But you don't have to see it. But what I'm saying is, Avatar was, going for the highest thing for Endgame, as who was the top person. And that's one movie by itself. You add Avatar 2, it's going to push that list up there to be maybe, where the Avengers are or maybe where MCU is. I don't think MCU because of the number of films, but.
And they're going to keep going with MCU.
Mm-hmm.
Like
they're not even including, and that's box office only. That's not like all that other stuff like the TV shows and stuff. So.
Oh yeah, the TV shows. God, the TV shows for the MCU.
Well, the TV shows you're watching for the MCU.
No, watched. I'm done.
Whatever.
I'm done.
Catch up to where we're at, man, because Loki's fucking amazing.
I finished Cloak and Dagger, and like I mentioned to you about a week ago, what's the easiest way to eat a shit sandwich? Big bites. So I literally just sat down and powered through, and it really helped. It really helped getting through that show to start thinking of it as a comedy and a satire. That's how fucking bad it was. So for those of you listening that have not seen Cloak and Dagger, don't waste your time. All I will say is that the villain in the second season, his superpowers, and this is not a joke. It may sound like one. It's not a joke. His superpowers consisted of headaches and playing the trumpet. That was the villain.
Aren't you glad you saw it though?
Oh, yes. I take pride in the fact that I did not break my streak of watching the entire MCU in chronological order. But damn, that was painful. That was painful. I'm upset because I know that they make an appearance again in the next season of Runaways, and I haven't gotten there yet. And I'm not looking forward to it. But if I can get through 2 seasons of that shit-tastic show, I can get through a couple of cameos in the Runaways. Which in itself is not a great show either, but it's way better than Cloak and Dagger. Because they also, like, Cloak and Dagger also was incorporating shit like voodoo, black magic, and priestesses of voodoo, and time and space jumping with no explanations. It was confusing and stupid, and just don't watch it. Just trust me when I say it's dog shit. Don't do it.
I trust you.
Okay. Thank you.
I wasn't going to watch it.
But I finished it.
I was telling you to not watch it.
You know what else I've been watching? I've been watching the Suns go to the fucking finals. That's what I've been watching.
Fucking A, man. I'm so fucking stoked. I'm not like the big sports guy. And, I was when I was a kid, but it's awesome. I can't wait. I hope they win. It's their 3rd time being there. It's their first time in 10 years. No. This is the first time to the finals in 28 years for them. Oh, is it really?
Yeah, 1993 with Charles Barkley leading the team was the last against the Bulls.
But what the fuck were they talking about for 10 years? I may have misheard that, but yeah, man.
I don't think they've been in the final or in the playoffs for that long.
That could be it. First time in the playoffs in 10 years. You know what? I saw a thing, like a little meme. The last time the Phoenix Suns were in the finals, the Dallas Cowboys were in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yep.
So.
Yeah.
Not a sports guy at all, but congratulations to them. I'm very excited. We didn't stay to watch the last game. Game 5 or game 6 or whatever, but they fucking nailed it. They took the lead, they held the lead,
and then they destroyed them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good times.
Beat them by like 20-something points.
Yeah, I'm not a huge basketball fan anymore. Again, in the 90s, I was huge into that. That was what I watched. Not so much now, but being born and raised in Phoenix. And now the Suns are having some success. I'll jump on that bandwagon. I'm not going to.
They've never won ever. They've never won a series.
They have no titles.
Championship.
Only one Arizona team has any title ever, and that's the Diamondbacks.
And we got rid of all those players after that.
Yep.
Thanks. Bye.
Of all the years for us to win was 2001. Immediately after the September 11th attacks, and we had to beat a New York team to get it. The time New York probably deserved a championship more than any other time ever, and that's the only one Arizona wins, is the one that we're going to feel bad about.
Yeah,
great.
I don't feel bad. Fuck you guys. We're going to take it because that's the only way we can take it. So, okay, so Dan. What do you got for us to round out the show? We're gonna end the show with what you got.
We're gonna introduce a new bit here. It's called Q&A with D&A. So
yes,
there's gonna be a random question from both of us. Neither one of us know what question we're going to be asked by the other, and that's going to be how we're going to start closing out our shows. This week's recording is going quite long. We recognize that, and we appreciate you sticking with us as we kind of smooth things out as we go. But this is called Q&A with DNA, and we plan on making this a regular bit.
How'd you get the questions?
I was at my mom's house 2 weeks ago, and she busted out these like dinner table conversation cards, and they just seemed like a lot of fun. They're some of them are kind of more serious, some of them are kind of just fun. But we picked them at random, and so let's get to it.
Cool. So go ahead.
Okay,
Which
Andy, let's go here. All right. Would you choose to be the worst player on a winning team or the best player on a losing team?
I'll be the worst player on a winning team.
What's your motivation there?
I'll still get a championship ring.
That's your drive. It's not money, it's championships.
Well, money's not going to come to me anyway because I'm the worst player.
Oh, but it would if you're the best player on the worst team.
True. Nah, I'd rather have the ring. I'd rather be a part of that legacy that is going to be in the history books for that.
I personally would rather be the best player on a losing team. Because if you are in the sports world,
right?
If you're in a position like that, you get shit on for a couple years and you have to carry your team as far as you can. I get it.
You'll still, I get it. You'll still get those commercials.
You're going to make money. You're going to have endorsements. You're going to have commercials. You're going to have the adoration of a city because you're going to be the best person on the team for that wherever you are. But contracts come to an end. Trades can happen. And then, sure, you have to eat shit for a few years. But eventually you will go somewhere where you're not any longer the best player on the worst team. You might be the best player on a good team. And at that point, you get the money and the championships. So for me personally, I'd rather be the best player on. I mean, look at Chris Paul. Look at where he is right now.
Dude, that guy frustrated me. You can't hit 3-pointers. Get the fuck out of the way.
But he really pulled it out. But
you could be a Steve Nash.
The best player on a losing team could be.
And then you go somewhere else, and you still don't go anywhere from there. You're still the best player on the losing team where you're at, and then you retire.
Could be. Yeah, that's a risk you take.
So he retired without ever having a ring or anything like that.
So did Charles Barkley.
Wow.
It's a risk. It's a risk you take. I will accept that, but it's a risk you take with tens of millions of dollars in your bank account. I'll do it. I'll take that.
All right. So my question for you,
yes,
which
sir.
is funny because of how we opened this show and what you just did not too long ago. What's your favorite part of Thanksgiving dinner?
Oh. That is funny that you bring that up because my family and I just did Thanksgiving like a month and a quarter ago, just because we busted out the fancy plates, invited family over. We did the whole spread. It was awesome. And it was the middle of June or early June. Either way, highly recommend it just because you can have Thanksgiving any time of year. My favorite part of the meal or the favorite part of Thanksgiving? What was
Thanksgiving
the question?
Dinner.
Thanksgiving dinner.
What's your favorite part of Thanksgiving dinner?
My favorite part of Thanksgiving dinner at my house. Now, it can be replicated if somebody has them. My favorite part is we have a gravy boat. We have a big gravy boat, but we also have individual place setting gravy boats for each and every plate. And they're shaped just like an actual gravy boat, but they only hold about 1.5 ounces to 2 ounces of gravy, which is the perfect amount of gravy. And I just really enjoy having that dainty little gravy boat at every place setting. It's one of my favorite things. It's stupid, I know, but I saw them once at a store, and I bought a dozen of them because if I ever break one, I want to be able to replace it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite thing of the Thanksgiving dinner at my own house. If we're having it at a family member's house, I would say that my favorite Thanksgiving food is going to be sweet potatoes with the mushrooms, or not mushrooms, marshmallows on them.
Gross.
Like, oh yeah, I'll eat the shit out of that.
That's so gross.
Oh, it's so good. I don't know what you're talking about.
I hate that shit.
Oh, the worst is green bean casserole.
That's
no
also
thanks.
gross.
Yeah, I agree. No thanks. Hard pass.
No. Mine would be the end. When I get to go home with leftovers Families can be trying and a lot of times. So I like being able to go home with a shitload of food, and then I'm going to go up into my room, or even downstairs. We're going to put on a movie, so we can drop into a coma, and I'm going to eat like the 6th piece of pie.
Yes, pie.
That is it. And we have different pies, right? Like I would do like a French silk pie, and I would do a pumpkin pie, and then we would do an apple, or like a peach pie, right? And I would just put them all on a plate and dress it up, and then I'd fucking just sit there.
I was gonna say you mix them all up. But okay.
No. I'll have them so like every other bite will be a different thing, and I'll just sit there and watch a whole movie and just eat it, and I love it, and I don't care, But
we really talked a lot about food during this session.
Well, that's how it goes. Sometimes people got to eat.
That's how it goes.
And we bring it.
Everybody has to eat, just like everybody has to shit.
Everybody.
And those two are related.
Yeah, especially after Thanksgiving. So,
all right. Well,
anyway,
that was our first segment of Q&A with DNA. Hope everyone enjoyed.
I liked it, and I'm definitely looking forward to it next show for sure.
Yeah, so it'll be different questions every week, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Oh, no, it will be.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is all of this episode of Jabberbox, episode 3.
I lost count. I can't count more than 3.
Thank you so much for joining us today. And don't forget that we post each and every week about whatever it is that we want to talk about. If you like that, please join us over on patreon.com/dandydigital, where you can write in and be part of the show and get the episodes early. If you have no bucks to toss our way, that is just dandy. Please find us and subscribe to us on YouTube and any other podcast services, and rate us to help us grow the show into something bigger and better. Until next time.
Love you all.